I can't do it. We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks. 5, 4, 3. That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.
This is the Universal Wrestling Podcast. Inside the ring. Outside the ring. It's all here.
We're talking about the greatest sport of all, professional wrestling. Come on!
And now, here's Nick and Keith.
Yeah, buddy. Oof. Nick and Keith and Dan and De Niro. What's good? How are you guys doing?
Doing great. What's good?
Who's switching around here? Dan, stop it. There you go. What's up? We just talked about the Eagles and we talked about life.
Yeah.
Time to talk some wrestling. Keith, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah. Living the dream, bro. How you doing?
Good, man.
Happy to have the boys here today. I know you guys were all just over there on the Delorean. Sorry I missed that. I had to, someone has to pay the bills in this house.
Yeah. So if you don't know,
you'll definitely be on for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
If you don't know who these guys are, Dan, why don't you introduce yourself? What's up, buddy?
What is going on? Of course, I'm Dan from CageMyIQ.
Yeah, buddy.
I got my podcast that I do UFC and, of course, the wrestling content on. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube under CageMyIQ.
Yes. And popping his cherry for the first time, Mr. Mike Nero. What's up, buddy? Long time no see. How you doing?
Long time, right? What's good, man? Mike De Niro from the Wrestling Delorean podcast and co-host on the Circle of Debate. You can follow me on Instagram at Wrestling Delorean Pod, on Twitter at W_Delorean Pod, and watch live on the Circle of Debate YouTube channel. So glad to be here. It's been a long time coming, bro. Long time coming.
Mm-hmm. Finally, it's nice to get you guys on the program and talk some wrestling. We got some chamber conversation. We got some Raw. We got some fun things. Maybe if we get to that. But I mean, you boys ready? You want to talk some chamber?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Do you believe in miracles? Hello, the Sammy's gonna do it.
Yes, sir.
God damn. Michael Cole is so much better now. It's so crazy.
100%.
So much better.
So if you don't know, we did a watch along on the Clark Street Wrestling Podcast YouTube channel. Go check it out. We watched the Elimination Chamber. Dan, you weren't invited. I'm sorry. Maybe next time. Let's get into it. I really want to talk about this match first, so I think we should do that. Bobby Lashley defeats Brock Lesnar via DQ. I mean, this is a match you thought, singles match, no stipulation. It's not a cage match. It's not a cell match. It's just mano-a-mano. And we didn't really get that. I mean, it was cool to see them two at Chamber, but it was not a good match. Dan, let's go to you, buddy. What do you think?
Going into it, of course, watching the whole match, and then not knowing what I know now on Monday, I look at it, I'm like, geez, Brock Lesnar, of course, took the easy way out. I wanted like a clear-cut winner because on Friday they had Bray Wyatt said he's coming for the winner of it. But you don't really get a clear-cut winner. You had Bobby Lashley put him in the hurt lock. Brock can't get out. And then so he, of all things for him to do, he low blows him to end the match where technically Bobby did win by DQ, but he kind of takes that win away from him, like the clean slate win.
Yeah, but what did this really do, honestly? What did this do to accomplish anything other than piss us off, right? I don't know if you are pissed off, but I'm just like, what the hell? Like, why do this? Why have this kind of match? What does it allude to? What is this in the future? What is next for Bray? What is next for Bobby? I mean, unfortunately, what is next for Omos and Brock Lesnar? I do not know, but this did not sell at all. Keith, let me hear.
No, I mean, I'm I'm going to echo that. The same stuff you're saying here. I mean, when we did our predictions, I was saying the real winner of this match was going to be all of us for getting to watch two big beefy men beat the piss out of each other. And didn't really get that. It was just like finisher spamming left and right. And then the Hurt Lock. Like, I don't know. I don't think like Brock's character right now he's so over just being Bobby and the cowboy man and, you know, lifting rings up with a fucking bulldozer and shit. Like, I don't know. I didn't like him winning by DQ. It's not like fitting in that way. You know, like you said, I didn't really give a clean cut winner. I mean, they like Bobby wins, but like, does he? And now like the fact that it's leading, I guess, to Brock and Omos is just
Jesus. No.
The notes that I wrote for this for today's for things. I just have almost. I have almost Brock hyphen. Ugh.
Yeah.
I couldn't care fucking less about that. I fucking hate Omos.
Yeah.
And you know, and then you know
him.
at some point they're going to go back to Bobby and Brock. That's why they probably did it at some point in time afterwards.
De Niro, I'll pose this question to you. Why? Why Omos? Why Bray? Why don't we just get a good old-fashioned street fight or just something? At this point, I don't care if it's a cage match. I don't care if it's a chamber match. I want Brock and I want Lesnar and I want him at WrestleMania, and I don't think I'm going to get that. Why do you insert Bray? Why do you insert Omos? Omos, I listen to Cornette every now and then, but what he said was hilarious. Omos is almost a wrestler. And I think that's true.
I agree with that.
How do you insert these guys?
To be honest, I wish I had the answer for that. I honestly don't know. I feel like the only way the finish at Elimination Chamber makes sense is if you go to WrestleMania to have the ultimate like match between them. You have the actual match where we get a clear-cut victory. We're not getting that. No. I mean, unless this is some swerve, which would not make sense because now you're already introducing Bray Wyatt and Omos to this. Shout out to Devin. I feel like this doesn't make any sense at all. You know, you have this matchup where it ends in a DQ and then you're not going to get a rematch at the next pay-per-view, which means we have to wait even longer for this to get dragged out. So
on purpose, you think?
I mean, I could see them wanting to give this feud legs, but the way the match ended at Crown Jewel and then the way this match ended and the match itself, like Keith said, it was just finisher spamming, which is basically every Brock Lesnar match we see nowadays. You don't see Brock Lesnar taking any other moves but the person's finisher, which is 9 times out of 10 a spear, because if it's not Bobby Lashley, it's Roman Reigns giving him 1,000 spears or Goldberg giving him 1,000 spears. So it's like,
thought about that.
Yeah. So I feel like, I don't get it.
A really great PLE, and I hate saying PLE, but it was really good. But this match just did not deliver. And I don't think, can anyone answer why have it end with a low blow? Why have it end like that? What does that do? Is that like, okay, the storyline is going to continue? I don't think so. Because not if you insert Bray and Omos. Dan, you have your hand up. I'll go to you first.
The only thing that I can think of is the fact that you want to keep Brock protected a little bit, and they want to have like a little bit. No, and they want a little transition, a reason to give him the Omos. And one of the things is MVP. MVP's with Bobby Lashley. He's trying to get the Hurt Business back together, and he has Omos with him. So he's like, okay, I'll take care of Brock Lesnar for you right now while you deal with Bray. And to do that, you don't have a finish, because if you have Brock Lesnar lose, how do you do the transition to Omos?
Yeah,
I mean, I get you on that, but I feel like if your purpose was you're trying to keep Brock looking strong, you don't have him win by kicking a guy in the dick either. He's fucking Brock Lesnar. Like, this is the dude we watched, like, he's put down, what the hell, when he was holding the Universal strap. I mean, he was putting dudes down with one F5 left and right every time until finally Roman, and then it was the big face Roman still. We all hated him.
I want to know
kicked out. Like,
go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'll go on for fucking hours.
I want to know who produced this match. Do we know?
Vince McMahon.
Anyone know?
Yeah, exactly. Vince is back again.
But this is
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was Jason Jordan. There was like some controversy online. People were mad at Jason Jordan.
Dude that doesn't know his own father.
It was probably Omos for all we know.
Yeah, right.
I just don't get it. I mean, Omos, what big time event did he have match with Who was it? Was it at one of the Saudi shows? He had a big match, and I don't think was it at Mania? Was it at some?
It was
AJ.
Braun Strowman.
Strowman, yes.
Yeah, that was at the
that
was at Crown Jewel.
And that didn't deliver. Yeah. I would think after that, you're like, okay, he can be a good hand. You know, he can get somebody over like we discussed with, you know, ECW, Spike Dudley, the big man, the small man. Yeah. He can get someone over like Jason Jordan, Gable, someone like that. It didn't happen. And I think we talked too much about this match. But any last thoughts before we get on to the next match, Keith?
The only match almost has been a part of that was like anything worth anything, in my opinion, was when it was him and AJ versus the New Day for the titles at Mania. And that was only because he was surrounded by fucking AJ Styles, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods. Like, it was impossible for him to not look good.
Exactly.
He's just almost as like Kevin Nash in '95, but like less graceful and slower. Miserable.
Less personality too.
Yeah,
totally.
A whole lot less personality.
I'm not even going to bring the personality into it. I'm just saying the Yeti might be better than him.
Is the selling
point
with
the double bear hug humping?
Is the selling point that he's just a big dude?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, we just
got
done.
The attraction.
We just got done. Cheap plug here, but we just covered an ECW paper or episode on the DeLorean. Go check it out. It's on Circle of Debates podcast or YouTube channel. But I don't know what I was saying there, but G plug, go check it out. I was trying to compare somebody to something, but it was a
great show. Definitely check it out.
Yes. Let's get to the next match. And this match, I love the mix tag team match. Edge and Beth Phoenix defeats Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley. And I said it, Keith. I said, Rhea does not need to win this match. She does not need to look strong. She's already looking strong. She is great for this type of match. Hey, come on, keep it down.
I agree with you.
I think he did too. Again, I thought this was one of the better matches of the night. And this, again, we talked about it on your show, De Niro. It's all about the storylines, and that's what we got here. This was just flawless. Everything from the beginning to the start was really fun. Other than Beth trying to, what was it? Beth, tried to interrupt the count, and it just didn't look like it was. Didn't look good. I'm going to shut up, Dan. Let's hear it. What do you got here?
Of course, they did what I wanted. You didn't need Ripley to win. You just needed her not to be involved in the decision. And I even said it going in. Just have her and Beth on the outside. I liked how they kind of reenacted the whole her going to stomp her face, and then she got out and did the glamazon to Ripley, kind of getting her out, and then Edge got the victory there. And then all Raw, Rhea referenced that I'm not done with you yet, but I got something to take care of at Mania. So we're going to come back to it. So it's kind of another I'll come back to it when I come back to it situation.
Yeah.
But I like the match, other than just like you said, the weird breakup, which was obviously botched.
Yeah, that I was trying to get that out, but that's exactly what I was trying to say. Keith, I'll hit you with this question. You said it in the predictions that you don't think, whoever wins, it doesn't matter, but Rhea will not be in the outcome, will not be in the finish, getting pinned. That did not happen. Does this still make Rhea, what's the point here? What's the point of not winning this match? And then also tell me how you feel about it.
So, I mean, the point of the not winning the match is Edge is from Canada. That's really what it gets down to. I didn't think of that in our predictions. I was just blinded with Mania being like, nah, Rhea's got to win, but Bakley put it the right way. It's just Rhea just didn't have to win, but she just needed to not lose. And she didn't. She wasn't even in the ring when anything happened with it.
Yeah.
It's that hometown crowd kind of pop. They're not going to, we all knew going in, Sammy wasn't winning.
No.
So they got to be like, all right, well, here's the next, maybe next, I guess, because Owens wasn't on the show. Here's our next build, most popular Canadian person we have. He's got to get the win tonight. We got to get people what they want. I loved the match. This was one, when we did predictions, I think I was kind of like, I don't really know. This one's going to be whatever. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Aside from we already pointed out the the pin spot, and my only other gripe with it was the whole lead up to this is how Ripley has just like fucking killed Beth Phoenix like from the outset. And they first fight, they finally get into the ring with each other, and it's like tie up. Like, no, man, you got, that's
not after
like
the concerto. Come on.
Yeah, that's what I mean. This is like a blood feud, man. She knocked your ass out with a concerto on you. You get in there, as soon as you come to those ropes, you're going for the jugular. Bite her, rip her throat out. You got, you can't give me this, test of strength all out. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah. De Niro, I'll pose this question to you. What is next for Edge? Like, what do you do after this match? Is it Priest? Is it Finn Balor? Is it, someone else? It's not going to be Dom, because I feel like Dom's going to do that thing with Ray at WrestleMania. I don't know what's next. And do we care? Let's hear it.
I hope we get what is rumored and we get the Hell in a Cell match between Edge and Finn Balor. I think that match will be great. I do think that we need like one last blow-off matchup between Edge and the Judgment Day. I know a lot of people are like, oh, Edge's been feuding with the Judgment Day for like ever. Let's get off this. But I think we mentioned during the live stream that Edge and Finn Balor only had one-on-one matchup. Yeah. So I feel like
and it was good.
Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania would be a great blow-off to it, because it was Edge creating the Judgment Day when Damian Priest interfered in the matchup with AJ Styles at last year's Mania. So what a way to end this feud 1 year later. Hell in a Cell would make perfect sense. So I think Edge and Balor. But I want to say what Dan said about how Rhea Ripley was saying how, she's not done with Beth Phoenix. Between this and the Brock Lesnar Bobby Lashley match, Backlash is looking stacked, because none of this is going down at Mania, but we're all way after Mania. But definitely, I think that, Edge and Balor. There's rumors of the Demon coming back. I don't see the Demon actually fitting well with this new Finn Balor with the Judgment Day. I'm all cool with just, regular Finn Balor versus Edge, Hell in a Cell at Mania.
Yeah. And what are your thoughts on Brood Edge versus Demon Finn?
Whoa,
so that's a lot of gothic energy right there.
Yeah. I'm all for that if they're going to bring the Demon back to be NXT Demon. I don't want, red light pulsing on the ground. Fucking what the hell was that? Extreme Rules Demon?
Yeah, that was
whatever that was. It was miserable.
Yeah, how do you bring the Demon back as a heel, though? Demon is always getting cheered. That's the one thing. I can't see him as the Demon in Judgment Day.
And then what were your thoughts on the representation of Beth Phoenix paying tribute to Bull Nakano?
Awesome. Loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it.
I couldn't care. I thought it was a cool
Keep it real.
Wrestling historian Nick Dieterding.
Yeah. But man, I'll pose this question to you. We got Charlotte, we got Rhea, we got Finn, we got Edge. What do you do with Priest? What's next for him? I mean, how can you continue this without having him in a match that's important on WrestleMania? I mean, we got 2 nights, so that's a big deal, but who's next? Is it maybe him and Ray and Dom in a mix, something like that? What do you got?
My only thought process would be like a battle royal. If they bring back the Andre the Giant battle royal, you put him in there, because what are you going to do?
Wonders for Corbin.
Yeah, because what else are you going to do with him? There's not really
anybody else that fucking want it.
Yeah.
I'm joking. Come on.
But what else are you going to do with him? There's no storyline with him going on at the moment.
You know what I feel bad too? I just brought up Corbin. We'll get to that in the Raw rebound, but I feel so bad, man. I don't know. But
I do got to say that there was something that was teased at Elimination Chamber, and that was Damian Priest and Bronson Reed.
That's exactly what I was going to say, my man. I was just about to say that, De Niro.
I would love that.
Absolutely. That's where this goes to. I don't know how. I would love to see maybe the U.S. title get into that mix again, and they start just beating the shit out of each other.
I was thinking that, but then I'm like, how are they going to do that? But if they do that, I'm all for that.
Absolutely.
Muffins.
Oof.
Real quick point too. I think this is kind of stating the obvious, but Beth and Rhea kicked ass, man. I mean, I know she botched the finish or close to the finish, but it was good, and it's good to see Beth just getting at it, man. You don't get to see that often. You got 2 big women, like muscle, just beautiful women, just going at it. It was something cool to see. Again, like you said, De Niro, maybe we see this at Backlash, because they did say this is unfinished business on Raw. We'll get to that soon, but that's what we heard from Rhea. So that's awesome to see. I think De Niro, I think we should get to the match you kind of discussed. Let's get to the men's Elimination Chamber match. Austin Theory defeats Rollins, Gargano, God damn it, Reed, Priest, and God damn it, dude, Ford. What a match! I was texting Keith over this week, and I said, "This is one of my favorite chambers. This is up there with Brown Pants HBK performance. You know, like this was good. This was just every hit, everything just made sense. I mean, from the beginning to the end, and we'll get to the end there. But let's start, discussing the match itself. Keith, we'll go to you first. Let's hear it, buddy. What do you got?
Fucking called it, bro. Theory had to win it.
He did.
I when we did our predictions, I agree with you. I thought if Gargano would have won, I would have been stoked. Yeah. That would have been awesome. But just looking at the field, I'm with you. It was a really great match. I feel like this match, more than anything else that happened, there's so much awesome shit in it. But I think more than anything, I feel like this match really not made, but really put good ass foundation down to make Bronson Reed on the main roster. The dude just looked like an animal. It took four finishers to get him to pin him finally.
Yeah.
The friggin' he had the two of them up for like the double Samoan drop, wasn't it? Like, he's a monster. I love that guy. I don't want to blow him too hard and put him up to that status, but like he does remind me a lot of like Bam Bam Bigelow. Like just a big ass dude who's really quick.
Dan just mentioned that on the Delorean for sure.
Dan did that on purpose.
It's just he's awesome. I love Bronson Reed, and I think that's what I mean. I think out of everything else outside of all the other awesome moments, everyone else is going to be mentioned here with it. That was like the biggest thing for me is that I feel like this really helped to start really making him for people. I feel like now it's not going to be. Yeah, who's this dude that's like being the Mrs. Mercenary or whatever? Like, it's going to be like, oh, hell.
Yeah. A lot of big spots. The one I can think of is obviously Montez Ford off the top of the cage. That was really cool. This was a really good match. Dan, we alluded to it during Mike's podcast or Mike's episode. You talked about Bam Bam. You talked about Reed. You talked about Priest. Put it all together, Brent, man. Let's hear it. What do you got?
I just love this match. This match was like one of a kind. And just alluded, Bronson Reed is a monster. It took 3 guys to get him out. He was just laying waste to everybody. First, you see Gargano with the super kick. Then you see 2 other guys super kick him. They basically were like, okay, we got to form this alliance to get this guy out because he's not going to get eliminated unless we combine everybody. They all hit their finishers on him to get him out. I expected him to go and eliminate 3-4 guys in this match, and then he didn't eliminate anybody, but he looked big. He looked like the man in the match, even though he was the first guy eliminated. They did what they had to do with him. One of my favorite spots in the match was Gargano doing the Hurricanrana to Seth Rollins, who was picking him up for the powerbomb off the cage.
Yeah,
and he Hurricanrana him to the ground.
That was good.
And he landed on Damian Priest. Yeah. It was that looked rough, but it looked great. The crowd popped. It was one of those other ones, just like you said, Montez Ford climbing to the top and jumping down. Those were 2 of the big spots. And then, of course, how am I going to mention this match and not mention the fact that I made the prediction that Logan Paul was going to come out like HBK?
How could you not forget that?
Years ago, did it to Undertaker. I said it somehow you can have Logan Paul come out and cost Seth Rollins, because Seth Rollins has been talking all that shit towards him ever since getting eliminated from the Rumble, and he comes out there and pulls a better, of course, Hangman Page buckshot lariat to him, and then did his own curb stomp to him to get him eliminated. Yeah, and it was just great. It was a great way to segue to Mania.
De Niro, I mean, I don't think anyone doubted Theory. But what are your thoughts on him winning? And
don't backtrack now, motherfucker. You doubted Theory. Get out of here. He's your boy, but you predicted against him. Get out of here.
Go back to the predictions. I said I want Gargano, but I think Theory's going to win. De Niro, we didn't doubt. Okay, everybody but me doubted Theory. Theory won. Why is that? What's next for Theory? And obviously, your thoughts on the match.
I think you had to continue to make him look strong. He has this new character change. He's a lot more ruthless, and I think it's working for him. It's a lot more believable than the selfie gimmick he had, and I like where he's going. So I thought that taking the title off of him here would have been too soon. So I'm actually happy that he won, and I think that he needed to look strong in this matchup. But overall, the matchup made everybody look strong. You know, you had a lot of guys that Triple H brought back to the WWE in this matchup, and they all looked strong in this matchup. They all finally got that crowd reaction. Unfortunately, Johnny Gargano, as great as he is, wasn't getting that crowd reaction since coming back. He got it here by busting his ass. Bronson Reed busted his ass. And it really made Johnny Gargano on that main roster. This matchup really made Bronson Reed on that main roster. It really made Montez Ford as a singles wrestler.
Oh, my God. Did it ever?
Yeah, this matchup, it really developed so many wrestlers and created such a platform for these guys. I loved it. And I mentioned on the Clark Street watch along, I feel like I keep on cheaply plugging it, but definitely check out the Clark Street watch along. I said that this matchup was one of the best Elimination Chamber matches that I can remember. So definitely I feel, you know, it was an absolute banger. I can't think of a matchup that was better probably since the first one. I was at the first one. I feel like that's probably the only reason why I like it a little bit better. Yeah, it was at the Garden. Yeah, I remember that was a birthday present. But
God damn.
Definitely
I
awesome.
get shit for my birthday.
Yeah, damn, I get socks and shit.
Yeah. I get go walk the dog, clean as shit. Thank you. Love you. Bye. But
yeah, I remember it was awesome. But like since then, Elimination Chamber matches have been just okay, especially when we get them yearly. But this matchup definitely served a purpose.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So we don't really know what's going to happen with Priest. Montez Ford, we're not sure. Reed, we're not sure. Gargano, we're not sure. What is this? What is next? You have such a great match, but what is it building towards? Keith, I see you thinking over there. Let's hear.
I mean, I think it's like we were everything we were just talking about there. I think it was a lot of. I think it really just helps start those guys off into being able to go do really whatever they want to. I like De Niro said before, I would love to see Bronson Reed and Priest build up to something big at Mania. If there's a title involved in that, awesome. If not, whatever. I'll watch the two of them fight anyway. Gargano, I just want him to. I wouldn't mind. I know everybody really hates on all the shit with him and Loomis and Miz going on, which goes on and doesn't go on and whatever, and that's fine. I'm not the biggest fan of it either, but I wouldn't really hate at all seeing it continue for long enough for Ciampa to come back, and then we can run back Ciampa and Gargano on the main roster, because I'll watch the two of them fight all the time, just like I'll watch Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens fight whatever and anywhere. I'll pay to watch those two fight when they're like 80. I don't give a shit. So I would love to see that going on. The only one I'm really not sure of is Ford, because there's all that stuff going around and people wanting, like, they might bring up the Street Profits and all. I don't really want that. I think I might be in the minority on that. I don't want that. I understand Montez Ford is a star. Yeah. He's also real young. He's got plenty of time to do that. I like the tag division the way that it is for right now. So keep it strong. They're one of the strongest pieces of it. So keep it strong.
You even brought it up during the predictions that why ruin such a great tag team? Yes, exactly. Montez Ford is going to be the star. Okay. We need a tag team division. They should be on top. And I think, the Usos will get to that, but great match. Guys, anything else before we get to the next match?
Last thing I'll say, I think the most impressive piece obviously there's a bunch of impressive ass shit in there, and the spot of Ford going off the top of the chamber was awesome. The friggin' craziest part about that is how fast that guy got up there. Like, there was, what the hell was the TNA match when, like, Homicide was trying to climb out, and it was a 20-minute spot where he's, like, didn't know what to do. Right, I didn't know what he was doing. He's, like, struggling, whatever. Ford, like, got off of Priest's shoulders and was just, like he was there. That was nuts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The only thing that I have to say is Theory didn't really have that many big spots, but he had what he needed to do, which was winning the match and then being cocky as shit afterwards. And, of course, continuing the mocking of John Cena where you're going to get that match. And I wouldn't be surprised because didn't Priest eliminate Gargano?
I can't tell you.
Believe so.
I don't know what I had for
Yeah.
breakfast this morning.
I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to book like a match between those two.
My man,
Somehow.
Danny,
I would do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love it. De Niro,
Overall, this matchup was just great. I feel like it was
Did it
if
bang?
we didn't have the main event, if we didn't have Roman versus Sami, I feel like this would have been a good enough main event to make this a banger of a show. And that's a testament to the matchup. But we did have that main event. But definitely a great matchup. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Dan over here are going to give it a 9.5. Let's get to the next match, and it is the next Elimination Chamber match. And god damn, Asuka looks great. Asuka defeats Liv Morgan, Nikki Cross, Raquel Rodriguez, Natalia, and Carmella. I mean, this match was, I don't want to say just as good, but it was up there with the men's match. Really entertaining. Of course, you get Natalia with the cheap pop. But other than that, De Niro, let's hear it, buddy. What do you got? Let's hear it.
First of all, I'm so glad that Asuka won.
Yeah.
I like how they had 2 chamber matches on this show, but it was 2 very different matches. The men's chamber match was more about spots and getting guys over. This matchup was telling the story of Asuka winning the chamber and getting back into that world title picture at WrestleMania. I called it on the watch along. I think that it would have been a lot more cooler if all the women were still in the ring when Asuka came in and just one by one she just picked them off. It would have made her look more of a star. I understand wanting to get Natalia a victory or a pinfall in Canada, but still, I think that Asuka would have looked a lot better if she just like picked off the whole matchup. Yeah. I mean, at this time, Natalia been around for so long. It's not like,
Next.
And shout out to Natalia. I do like her, but I don't think
Not on this show, you don't.
Fuck Natalia.
She's come a long way from the farting gimmick. So,
oh God, 100%.
Come a long way from there.
100%. The right woman went over. I think Asuka versus Bianca is going to be a banger at WrestleMania. She definitely looks strong. I love that she, has this new character, the face paint, the more ruthless style. Awesome. Definitely happy that she won the matchup.
Yeah. Keith, I know that I doubted Austin Theory, but I did not doubt Asuka. I knew she was going to win. I think most of America knew she was going to win. Let's hear it, buddy. What do you got?
Well, I was the one in America that predicted Raquel instead. But if you remember, I did say during our predictions.
No. You doubted it.
I know what I picked. I know what I did. But I did say during the predictions, my heart was with Asuka. My head went with Raquel, though. But heart should have won out here. It was awesome. I liked I don't get what they're doing with Liv. I don't understand what they're trying to do with her. Where it was like she was in the double submission and she passes out like smiling, like I don't. It's like out of nowhere. She's like Mankind and Sabu like combined. Like she loves pain and she's extreme and whatever. It's like, really? Because why? Because she put Ronda through a table when she was feuding with Ronda. Like that just clicked everything in her head. Like I don't know. That's like a whole weird thing, but that's its own sort of thing. Asuka looked awesome. I love the new Asuka also. I completely agree with De Niro. I would have loved that so much better. Everybody to be in there. She comes in and just starts snapping necks and cashing checks.
Yeah.
But I'll take the victory however it goes. I feel like Raquel could have looked stronger if they're trying to build her up, but I feel like I predicted her, but especially after watching this, like she's just someone that like she's not a good enough wrestler to not have a character.
Yeah.
And right now her character is just I have a muscly back and I smile. And that doesn't really do anything for me at all. I know Natalia doesn't really have a character either, but like no one really expects Natalia to because her character is now the veteran because she's been around for 12, 15 years, whatever it is at this point. So, that's like that's the only really thing. I would have loved to have seen more Nikki Cross in the match because I love Nikki Cross, and I feel like with her going back to being the crazy lady, the chamber would have been the best for her. Yeah. They just really show off even more. Didn't think she was going to win it, but
she had a great performance though too.
Hell yeah, he did.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah, Danny boy, I got a question. Well, not really a question, but Asuka is just on a different level. I mean, new music, new look. It's got to be Asuka. She won. Are you happy that it's Asuka and Bianca at WrestleMania, and then also talk about the match?
Yeah, I'm happy. I was in the same boat as Keith. Like, I wanted Raquel, but I knew that it was going to be Asuka, and I love the fact that they bring back the Kana gimmick from in Japan, where she's a little bit more dangerous, a little bit more evil with how she does everything, and it just breaks the edge because I never liked the comedic version of her, and she's trying to make all the rest
good at it,
her.
but it just didn't work. Yeah.
And I liked on Monday where Bianca looked afraid of her, which is good. She's putting doubt in the seed of Bianca going into that match. But I loved everything about the match. Raquel, I think it's going to boil down to something where they're just planting the seed to her turning heel at some point, just being fed up of smiling, being good old Raquel, smiling, muscular. She put on a decent performance. Yeah, put on a decent performance. It took two people to pin her, or not pin her, to get her out of the match.
Yeah.
So they're trying anything. I liked how she crashed into one of the pods, and then I like the little thing of Carmella going from pod to pod, hiding from Nikki, closing the doors each time, just hiding. And they made her look good lasting to the final two. I didn't expect Carmella would, but to tell the story of what they're doing from elimination on elimination, it fit the bill, and Asuka gets the victory.
Yeah.
They totally had me nervous for a minute. They were going to flip the script and have Carmella take it. I won't lie.
Not gonna lie, same here.
Because like when she came back out of nowhere, she got inserted. I'm like, come on, man. Like, I don't want this at all. And then when it was them as the final two, I'm like, dude, if you have her go over Asuka, I'm done with this pay-per-view right now. Like, I'm just gonna shut it off.
And it was the first match.
Exactly. I just wouldn't have seen the rest. I would have waited. I would have just timed like an hour, 2 hours out, and then just put it on for the main event again. Like, no way. But they did the right thing.
De Niro, I'll pose this question to you. We discussed what's next for the participants in the men's chamber. What's next for the women's? I mean, Carmella, I don't know. Natalia, maybe retirement. Raquel, maybe there's a match there at WrestleMania. We do have 2 nights. Nikki Cross, it looks like she's doing something with Gargano's wife. I'm not sure what that's going to be, but stay tuned. That's going to be during the Raw Rebound. And then you got Liv Morgan. I mean, I don't know. What do you see? What do you want out of a Liv, a Nikki, something like that? What do you want to see in the future?
To be honest, I don't know. I do want to see Liv Morgan succeed. I'm a big Liv Morgan fan. I think she has something special. She definitely improved a lot. But right now, it looks like we already have our, championship matches set up for WrestleMania for the women. So where do you go with the women? Unless it's, one of those.
Where do you go?
I hope it's not a situation where they just throw everybody in a battle royal. I hope that it's a situation where we do have other storylines outside of, I want the championship. But yeah, right now it's hard to even see a future for everybody. Even though you have 2 nights.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying it's tough because you look at the men's, Dan, and you got Montez Ford, phenomenal. You got Priest, phenomenal. I mean, the list goes on and on. It's the total opposite. I mean, it was a good match, Keith, but what do you want to see? Do you who goes one-on-one with Raquel? I mean, she's got to get a match at Mania, right? Like, you got to put Liv somewhere. Is it a battle royale like De Niro said? I mean, what do you think?
I could see Liv and Natalia feuding because Natalia cost her or started to cost her that before Asuka stepped in and then passed out. And Liv can do. I mean, honestly, I feel like Liv could really feud with anybody at this point because Liv has that claim to be like, hey, I never tapped. Like, they fucking called it on me. I never gave up. I never got pinned. Let her go that way. I could not agree more with Begley that Raquel needs to turn heel. I loved Raquel in NXT when it was her and Dakota. And even after Dakota turned on her, when she still didn't really change her character. She was still kind of just nasty. But I don't know what it was. Like, they brought her to the main roster. They're just like, your muscles, smile, go. And it's like, this sucks. Yeah. Because she comes out, she does her same pose she did when she was a heel, but now she turns around like,
yeah. And
when it's just like, don't just turn around and scowl. Like, it's cool. Do the same thing.
Yeah, Dan said it too. She smiles too much. I mean,
It's
how
it's
can you take
weird.
that
It's like
over?
off-putting.
Hey,
The
let me
Apollo Crews
smile.
syndrome.
Let me smile. And what happened to Aaliyah? And she goes, looks back. She's like, I'm gonna smile, even though Aaliyah's not with me anymore.
Yeah.
They tried that shit with Rhea Ripley when they first brought her up as a babyface. You know, like she was.
Yeah.
I remember she was cutting the promo for like Connor's Cure, and she just felt so uncomfortable. It's like this is not the type of person you like have talk about charities and stuff. Like she's a killer. Like let her go out there and like be a heel. But
leave that to Titus.
For real.
Oh. Yeah, my man. All right, let's do it. Let's get to the main event. The shot heard all over around the world. This was storytelling at its finest. De Niro, I had the pleasure watching this with you on the watch along. I mean, it was just something special. I mean, it didn't need to be a great match, which it was a good match, but I'm saying the storyline is what counts, and this is what we got. I mean, we were just glued to the screen, you know, it just everything. I mean, the 3, the 4, the 5 Superman punches. I mean, just the haluva kicks, Michael Cole on the commentating. I mean, it just made this match so much better. And again, this is what you want. Doesn't have to be a great match. We need a storyline. We got the best goddamn storyline in the business here. And that's what we got main eventing Elimination Chamber. I'm just going to ask. I'll start with you, Dan. Give me it. What do you got with this match? Let me hear it.
There was just a lot of everything in this match. It was great. You had the 10-minute spot in the beginning where they didn't do anything. They just let the crowd go wild. It reminded me of being at a soccer match with how active they were getting into it. You had Sammy's family there at the side and Roman going like this, mocking them the whole time.
Yeah.
But once they got into the match, once they just felt the electricity, everything just went going. Just like you said, there was like 10 false finishes, I felt like, in the whole match, but it made it work. And they just kept on going back and forth. And then they would introduce people. You had 3 refs. You had Jimmy come in. That was one of the best parts of the match. I felt like I love how Jimmy came in by himself. He attacked Sammy, and then Sammy still was able to kick out. Then Jay comes in, and it's like, oh, where's Jimmy at? He comes in, doesn't attack anybody. You feel like he's going to hit Roman, but then Roman looks around, and then Jay just stands there frozen, like he doesn't want to do anything. And then Roman kind of punks him a little bit, turns around, almost gets speared by Sammy, but then Sammy spears Jay. Jimmy comes back in, attacks him. And then, of course, you get the finish where Roman wins, and then they start to beat him up again. Jay's nowhere to be found, which I was kind of like, what happened to Jay afterwards? And then Kevin Owens makes the save, but then leaves. You know, there's so many different relationships in this match that you got to think about. Jay and Sammy are okay. Of course, Kevin Owens hates Jay. Then Jimmy hates Sammy now, and then you got Roman pulling all the seeds in this match. So it's like they just did a perfect way to progress everything.
Yeah. And it's tough too, because you go back to like 2014 with Danielson and Randy and Batista, and it's like, okay, well, DB is the man. Right here, Cody is the man. As much as we want Sammy to be the man, he is not the man. It was tough. Keith, let me hear what you got on the match, but also, was it the right finish?
I'll start with that first piece of that. I'll start with the question to that first. This is coming from, I mean, arguably the biggest Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn / this guy El Generico fan. To this day, I'm gonna get. I have it planned out. I'm waiting for the money and everything to do it. I'm trying to get the tattoo from the. It was one of the Ring of Honor pay-per-view covers. It's the half El Generico face screaming and half Kevin Owens somewhere on me. Yeah,
Final Battle, I think 2014.
I love them. Yeah. So from the second Worlds Apart hit. Now, usually I'm the first person to bitch about, like, I hate when it's a championship match and the champion comes out first. But when I heard Roman's hit first, I'm like, of course Sammy's coming out second, because it's going to fucking deafen the place when everyone in there is going to go deaf.
Yeah.
And it did. And like his music hit and you can't hear it. And I literally started to cry. I'm a grown man. I don't care. I was crying. I was like,
No,
yeah,
Ivan did
everything
too.
I've ever wanted
Yeah.
this guy. I love him. He deserves all of this. It absolutely was the right finish. Part of me at first was just like, how do you hear this pop and you just let something like this go? But part of it was definitely because it was Montreal.
Yeah.
Storyline's perfect. The match was amazing. It's one of those matches that like I'm also like one of the first ones to gripe a lot when it's like too many like indie false finish kickouts left, right, and center. But like these ones all made sense. I think the last two things I'll even say because I'll just go on for hours about it. The only gripe I had with it at all, and this can apply to literally any other wrestling match either. I hate when there's like something that is clearly a DQ, something or other happens when the ref's not there, but then a new ref comes out and just completely ignores it. Like,
yeah,
Jimmy wailed him with the chair and like wasn't even out of the ring with the chair, and the other ref slides in and is like, 1, 2. It's like, there's no way you didn't just see that, you idiot. Yeah. What are you doing? Like, I understand it's got to be part of it and everything, but like, I don't know, like space it out more or something, or like even have one of the second ref that went down, have him come too and not see Jimmy get out of the ring, so he just does it. I'll buy that one more. But when it's a brand new guy that's coming in, it's like, motherfucker, you definitely just saw that. Cut the shit. But whatever. And I love that. I mean, this is more related to Raw than this one, but I love how Kevin Owens' gimmick is just the smartest man in wrestling who doesn't forget like bullshit that happened. Like the whole thing happened with him and Elias when Elias was like, we should team up. He's like, are you kidding me? Do you not remember all of what you did to me over last summer? And then the same with this where Sammy's like, hey man, whatever. And he's like, no, you hit me in the dick. No, not helping you. Go get Jay. Piss off.
Yeah.
I love that they've just made him like a smart person. He's like the only one in wrestling that's just like, no, I'm not. No.
Yep. I mean, the momentum is behind Cody and Sammy. I think there's more momentum behind Sammy, behind Sammy. I mean, yes, we want to see Cody finish the story, as Cole said, but I think right now Sammy has the, more momentum. De Niro, let's get it. How did you think? And give me your thoughts on who do you want to see at WrestleMania go one-on-one with Roman? Obviously, we know it's Cody, but is there a way where Sammy can sneak on in, and is it necessary?
First off, the matchup was fucking awesome. Like, that crowd, the atmosphere was amazing. The only thing I could liken it to was the ECW One Night Stand where John Cena faced Rob Van Dam, and that crowd was 120% behind Rob Van Dam, and John Cena was getting booed out the building. I loved everything about it. False Fishes, there was parts where it really got me. I was like, holy shit, they're really going to do this. But the storyline is so intricate. There is so many layers to it, and that's what makes it so amazing. We haven't really seen a storyline like this where there's so many different layers to it. It's usually very cut and dry. It's heel versus babyface. It's bad guy versus good guy, champion versus challenger. Here we have a story where, family is involved. Part of the family is on this side. The other part of the family is on that side. I love how intricate it is. As for WrestleMania, I think that the money matchup is still Cody versus Roman Reigns. I think that that's the big matchup you go with. I think that
is that what you want to see, though?
To be honest,
I don't care if it sells tickets. Is that what fans want to see? Is that what you guys want to see?
I've been saying for a long time, I cannot wait for the moment where Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens is once again a tag team. Steen Jericho was one of my favorite tag teams in Ring of Honor history. I love them as a tag team.
We've not done more stuff with this guy. Come on, I love him.
Every week,
love you too, bro. They're one of my favorite tag teams in Ring of Honor history. To be honest, I got into Ring of Honor because of Steen and El Generico versus the Briscoes at Ladder War. That was the first ever time I watched Ring of Honor. So I was like,
where has this guy
been? So yeah, I mean, like, I've been wanting to see them as a team again. The Usos is one of my favorite tag teams. I feel like that's a dream match for me. I think that they're going to kill it. I do want to see Sami Zayn get back to this point, and I would like to see him in another title matchup. I just feel like the story of, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns is bigger. I just hope that with the next couple weeks with Raw and SmackDown, we build to it more where it's more of we want to see this matchup happen and less about Sami Zayn is so over, he should be a part of this matchup.
And I got a
But
question.
definitely shout out to Sami Zayn.
Yeah, I got a question. Why do we think it's okay that Sami doesn't get that DB push, that Kofi push to win the title? Is it just because we're okay that the storyline was great and he doesn't need the title? He can win it with KO. Because I'm on the other fence where it's like, make this a goddamn triple threat match. Sami deserves it. But then again, you have to look at it realistically. Sami didn't think he was going to get here, right? Like, you got Jackass. It was phenomenal. A great match, entertaining, but it wasn't, the match we got at Chamber.
I feel like it's because of Roman Reigns.
Let's hear it. Anyone?
Yeah, I think it's because of Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns' title reign is historic at this point. If it was anybody else in the normal title reign, if it was a guy holding the title for 6 months, it would be like, yo, Sami Zayn deserves that title.
Absolutely.
But him holding the title for over 900 days, it has to be somebody who's about to really take over that spot. Roman Reigns has created a masterpiece of a title reign, and the guy who takes the title from him better be the right guy, because right now we're witnessing history. So if we're going to break that title reign, it better be the right way to go.
And who were the champs? Dan, you're a historian. Who were the champs when DB won and Kofi won?
When DB won, he beat Randy Orton.
And
the triple threat match.
Threat,
And then
Kofi beat Bryan.
And then of course, ironically, Daniel Bryan was the champ when
Bryan Danielson. Get it right.
But one big thing that we're kind of forgetting with everything with Sami Zayn is the fact that I think the big storyline with the whole bloodline is that the story within the story with Sami and Jay, and that's huge. Everybody keeps on forgetting about it. Like, you're gonna have Cody face Roman. That's a big battle there. But then you got the struggle between Sami and Jay. Of course, Sami reminds us of Jay when he had PTSD with Roman, trying to fight him, and then he just gave up and joined him. And then you got Sami, who wanted to make a name out of himself, get away from the jokester, jackass gimmick that he had. So he joins the bloodline, and Jay didn't like that. And then he had to grow to like each other. And I think you got everything with him. His way of taking down the bloodline is by taking those tag titles from the Usos. But then at the same time, him and Jay are still they're still friends. They still have that struggle, tug of war with each other, to where Jay wants to still be friends with him, but then he's loyal to his brother Jimmy, who is attacking him. He's loyal to his family, but he doesn't know what to do. And I think
you told me right there, dude.
Yeah. And I think it's going to come down to he's going to try and save his brother Jimmy, get him out of the bloodline. And probably one of the ways to do it is to leave Jimmy, lose the match, the tag titles to Sami and Kevin Owens, just to get out.
Yeah. I think what we need to do here is ask a legit fan of Sami. Keith, you've been watching for years his matches. Are you okay that he's not going to main event? I mean, doesn't he deserve this?
So, I mean, I've been watching Sami Zayn as long as he's been in NXT. He reminds me a lot of this guy from Ring of Honor called El Generico, who disappeared. And this match, he actually wrestled a lot like El Generico used to, which would pop me even bigger for the match. It was the first time we've seen Sami look like that in friggin' forever. I think I am okay with it, as big of a fan as I am, because I think it's like a different. I think it's tough to compare this to the Yes movement, the Daniel Bryan, everything going on at that time, because it was because of like what's going on around it. It's almost like bad timing, really, because like you figure the Daniel Bryan time and everything. It was like when we were all kind of just being like, great, friggin' Batista came back. Awesome. He's going to win the title. Exactly. Like, just, who gives a shit? Like, we were all just over it. It's like, we love this guy. He's put the work in. How are you all ignoring us?
Yeah.
Whereas with this, we all love Sami. They're not really ignoring them. They're giving him something. But at the same time as all of that was starting to really, like, it was literally such, like, really bad timing of just, like, right as, like, the huge swell for Sami came back around like that swell started happening is when Cody came back. And it's like, oh, well, damn, this is a huge deal because like we love him too. So like it's got to be him. I mean, from the time Cody came back, I have been saying that he's going to be the one to dethrone Roman without question. So it's like
earmuffs.
As much as I want Sammy to main event it and to win it all and to give him everything all the time, give him all the flowers in the world because he's amazing.
Yeah.
It was just bad timing with it all, really. And that's not, I don't mean that like it's bad timing, like it's anyone's fault that it is. It's just, it's just how the chips fell. Yeah. And, you know, it's unfortunately like that it is what it is. But I think, I mean, Bakley brought up a good point too. There's a really interesting video that Cultaholic did. The guy from Cultaholic Ross did a video called, I forget what the name of the title of the video is or whatever, but it's basically how the whole Bloodline storyline has really just been about Jey Uso from the outset, from all of it. It's all just been about how Jey is. And like a lot of the things going on now are like how Jey hated Sammy at first because he was kind of jealous of the fact that like Sammy was doing everything he came in originally and was trying to do, like to try to be like, no, I'm not your bitch or whatever. And now he has this inner conflict because he's like, damn, like I want to support Sammy because he's fighting back like I wanted to, but I'm so deep in this and I don't know what to do because they're actually my family. And like, it really is just all centered around him.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of story left to tell there. Like, I think that's really what it comes down to. Like that plays into it also. Outside of the, you know, everything else going on, the bad timing, everything I just said there, it's just the story itself isn't the Bloodline storyline itself isn't just a thread. It's a friggin' knotted ball of yarn that it's just like within the last couple of months, they took this knotted ball and other than trying to untangle it, they were just like, bam, and just hit it with a rake or a knife and it split. So now you can start pulling all these other threads everywhere of what's Jey going on? How are Jimmy and Jey going along here? Yeah. What is Solo going to end up doing? Because after, what was that? After the Rumble match with Owens, that no one really talked about it a whole lot. Everybody saw it, but it wasn't a whole lot. Like when they were walking away from the ring, Roman like specifically turned just to Solo and was like, "We're at war now, Solo." Like to him, only him. He didn't turn and say it to Jimmy. He didn't say anything to Heyman. Yeah. Just to Solo. He's like, he said something, and then we're at war now, Solo. And it's like, all right. Yeah. So like, is that going to be a thing? Like, is Roman going to just really groom him more and kill everybody else now too? Like, yeah, it's just everywhere. And then you got Cody in there he's got his own thread from, you know, God at friggin' Hell in a Cell.
Imagine had he never gotten hurt.
Exactly. Cody. That is the bad timing of it all with Sammy. If Cody hadn't gotten hurt and fought through that and went away for a while, I don't know that we'd be having the same tone. We would be having a completely different conversation now where it'd be like, fuck that. I'm tired of seeing him. Sammy should be in there.
You know what I think, though? As much as it is bad timing, I think it's also how brilliant this storyline is because
absolutely.
Why did we want DB to win? Because we booed Batista, you know? Those are the things you have to look at too. Yes, bad timing because we're seeing something that I don't think we'll ever see again. But also, it's like we wanted DB because we had nothing. We wanted Kofi because DB was kind enough to say, yeah, I'll take the pin at Mania for Kofi. So those are the things we got to look at. Let's pause right now for station identification.
The Bloodline Entertainment Network. Find all your sports and wrestling entertainment needs in one place as we form a new network that features several different podcasts, watch-alongs, sports and entertainment shows, and much more. The Bloodline Entertainment Network debuts March 5th.
Yeah, buddy, throw those ones up. We got the Bloodline here with honorary Oos, Danny Boy. Phenomenal pay-per-view. Yes. Let's end it real quick before we get to the next segment. I don't do grades. I don't like to do it's 5 out of 10. But give me your thoughts on this PLE. Keith, my man, let's hear it.
My thoughts on this pay-per-view were it was phenomenal. I don't want to give a grade. I'm not Meltzer. I'm not I don't know how to do the grading scale with everything, but it was awesome. The only gripes I had were things that I mentioned. They were like so small. the worst match still wasn't like that terrible. I just wanted more out of it. It wasn't even like it was that bad. I just wanted more out of it with being Bobby and Brock. But yeah, that was all.
De Niro,
it was great.
Let's hear it, buddy.
This was just fun to watch. I was highly entertained the whole time. Like every matchup I feel delivered besides the ending of Bobby and Brock, but I feel like everything was just entertaining.
Fuck that match.
You know, but even the matchup though, like I'm not gonna lie, like I did like to see like these two bulls like colliding, and then also like the little bit of the story of Bobby trying to get that hurt lock onto Brock. Like I thought that was pretty cool. I feel like everything was entertaining and it was just a lot of fun to watch, and that's why we watch as fans. If it wasn't fun, then we wouldn't be watching. So it delivered in its purpose.
Yeah,
Boom.
That's why I'm friends with Dan. Dan, keep it short and sweet. What do you got here?
I'm just going to agree with both of them. That's the only match that I had really had gripes with because of the fact that they both, Brock and Bobby, both have the same background with like wrestling and MMA, and I thought they could have done more. But other than that, I loved the pay-per-view, or PLE.
PLE. Pay-per-view on this network. Damn it. Let's get to the next segment, the Raw Rebound.
Welcome to Raw is Jericho!
Yeah, buddy, the Raw Rebound. We're going to recap Raw. Keith, we're going in overtime here. We're over an hour.
I know.
I love it. But we got a meeting
sleepy
with Broadcast, so we'll be good. Let's just start with obviously the beginning. Sammy comes out and basically he says he felt guilty for losing in his home country, but he said the story is not over. This is not over, and he calls out KO. He thanked KO and apologized, and let's get to it, Dan. What are your thoughts on this? And tell us what you think about, KO coming out and basically saying, I'm not doing it for you. I did it for your family. I'm still going to take down the bloodline. If it is with or without you, I'm doing it myself.
Yeah, and then he goes, why don't you call your boy Jay?
Yeah,
which was
exactly. Yeah,
perfect placement. I loved it because it's the struggle between the two. He goes, I gave you a chance, and then you basically turned your back on me. I'm just going to do me now. I really don't care what happens. I'm going to die on my own sword. And I loved everything. It's Sammy trying to apologize for everything that he's done. He realized what he did was wrong, and now he's trying to do the right fight now. And of course, I really hate the fact that Corbin comes out.
Isn't that? I thought the same thing.
And then the picture during the break of him getting attacked.
Don't get Keith started with that.
I hated
that.
That.
Leave it alone.
Yeah,
I'll leave it alone.
Yeah, and it's really cool to see that KO and Sammy didn't just hug it out. There's something to this. Yes, we think they're going to wrestle at WrestleMania as a tag team, but you can't just hug and make up. I mean, this is legit, and this is why this storyline, is so great. Keith, let's hear it. What do you got with the opening of Monday Night Raw?
Yeah, no, I mean, I mentioned it there at the the end of the recap. I think it was awesome. I love that KO's character is just like, he doesn't forget. Like, it's not, and I like that that's his character, and that they're not, like, the company as a whole isn't like booking stuff like that anymore either. Like, I don't know if you guys remember when, like, before Moxley left, when it was still Ambrose in there, and like him and Rollins feuded for however long, and then there was they had to get back together for whatever reason, and like it was literally a segment where Ambrose is in the back just like, man, where were you? And Rollins just like, what are you talking about? Like, we were whatever. And Ambrose just goes, that was how they wrote it off to like get them back together. Like, I love that like KO was like being smart about this. Just like, no, like, I didn't do that for you. I did that because I hate them and I love your family. You're a dick, but like, I love them. I don't want to see them like have to see this happen to their dad or their husband. So I came for that reason. I'm still going after them, whether it's with you, against you. Doesn't matter to me. I'm going to have my own fight. I think I think like you said, I mean, it's ultimately going to lead to them pairing up again. I don't think it's just the end of them forever, but it's going to be something where Sammy's going to have to kind of prove himself. the Corbin stuff. Poor guy.
Yeah.
That's all I can really say there. But
I mean, this is
I don't know. Somebody's got dirt on him or something. He did something. He pissed the wrong people off somewhere along the way, and it's a shame.
Yeah, I think this is what we needed after Chamber, because when a PLE is so good, the next night on Raw, it's like, ugh, I don't want to watch more wrestling. And they delivered. I mean, we got the promo from Sammy, we got the promo from Heyman and Cody. I mean, the list goes on. Rhea and Dom, that was really interesting. But De Niro, what do you got here? What do you think?
I love how it's just another layer. Like they didn't just quickly say, hey, you know what? Yeah, we're good. Like he said, like, you know, Kevin Owens is actually smart about it. I always say wrestlers have like worse memory. Like, for example, you know, you had Randy Orton punt kick John Cena's father, and then like a few years later, they're talking about how they have great respect for each other. Like, fuck that. You kicked my father in the face. Like, I have no respect for you. So it's cool that they're telling that story, that Kevin Owens is he's not going to forget all the shit that Sami Zayn put him through. On the contrary, Sami Zayn shouldn't forget all the shit that Kevin Owens put him through, because there's been a lot of shit that, you know, originally it was Kevin Owens who turned his back on him, even up until his NXT debut, where Kevin Owens looked like he was going to celebrate with Sami Zayn just to turn his back on him. So I love the layers. These guys been feuding and partnering on and off since 2008. Like, it's been amazing that this story could go on. And yeah, there's a lot of history there. So I like that they're telling that story here.
Yep.
Wouldn't this be their fourth or fifth Mania where they've been part of a match together?
I don't know.
Well, no, they weren't last year.
Not in a
last
row,
year was...
but not in a row.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, they were together in that ladder match when they both got called up, I believe at 31 or 32.
There's that.
When he
took
oh my God, Owens took the side of the ladder bump. Oh,
nasty.
There's the tag match with Daniel Bryan and Shane. That they had the one-on-one match in Tampa.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the Performance Center.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great match. Let's go to a really high point to a low point. The dud of a segment with the WWE Hall of Famer Lita coming out and basically saying that she is going to go one-on-one with Damage Control. I mean, I just don't see or understand why you bring a Hall of Famer out like this and then you put her in a tag team match. The titles don't mean anything. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Nero, let's hear it. What do you got?
I mean, I'm right there with you. I feel like if someone like Lita is coming back, there better be a story that tells why she's coming back. This is pretty random. And not only is it random, but it's a matchup setting up for Raw next week. A matchup of this caliber, Damage Control versus the returning Hall of Famer Lita teaming up with the man Becky Lynch. You would think that would be for WrestleMania. I'm sure we're going to see that match at WrestleMania still. I doubt we see a clean finish next week. But why have them touch next week? Like, build this up for Mania so you can have that story told.
Yeah.
But it's also interesting, like, if the rumors are true, if the dirt sheets are true. Trish Stratus was supposed to be a part of this segment as well. Yes. She walked out before the show. I wonder what her placement would have been in this whole story.
Yeah, I think that's the issue too, if that's true. Right? Yeah. Like, how do you they're in a pickle now. But then again, why do you introduce? We don't want to see Lita and Trish as much as they were our childhood favorites. I mean, I want to see something else. And then again, you got the tag titles. It's like, what?
You know what's going to happen.
What?
We're going to get Trish turning again. And somehow we're going to get Trish and Bayley against Becky and Lita.
Yeah. Is Bayley incorporated in this at all? Because it's for the titles, right?
Yeah, it's for the tag titles.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but it's like the proxy. It's like Becky's feuding with Bayley, so Lita's with Becky, and she's gonna,
Well, if we're thinking about it, I don't think it's a good idea, right?
I agree.
I'm gonna try to keep this as short as I can, but Nick has been part of too many things when I talk about the women's tag titles. By all means, someone cut me off if I do start going off here. It's the dumbest fucking thing in all of current modern wrestling right now. Anything you think is dumber than the women's tag titles in WWE, you're wrong. It's like, especially going 2 weeks ago, they broke up on NXT, what was arguably like the most like cohesive women's tag team that they've had since they introduced women's tag titles on NXT or on the main roster. And they broke that up. Everyone else's thoughts on that aside, great, whatever. But they broke an established tag team up. On the same episode of that, they then formed a tag team that was off of two people that were blood feuding with each other, in Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. But let's leave all that aside right now. So now we're on the main roster with these titles, and rather than having, a main roster women's tag team that has something that's established, which there aren't besides Damage Control, really, we're gonna have Lita come back and team with Becky fucking Lynch for them.
Yeah.
Why do you have them? Why do you have women's tag titles?
You should ask Mercedes Moné what she thinks.
I get it. I understand what her issues were. It's so stupid. It drives me absolutely insane. Where it's like they made them to capitalize on women's wrestling and all. And I don't say that ironically, because fuck yeah, women's wrestling. There's a lot of really awesome women's wrestling going on nowadays. And they need something besides just these main titles to fight for. But I don't love Cornette, but Nick had mentioned him earlier. Cornette mentioned it before that at the end of the day, the titles the belts are props. They don't really mean anything anymore. It's not the territory days where you're the one strapping the title to you and you're going to the other territories and repping the company and da-da-da-da. Yeah. They're a friggin' prop, and that's fine. The thing is, though, no other title in any other friggin' company feels like a prop besides the women's tag belts in WWE or in NXT. Because I honestly keep forgetting. I watched NXT today from last night, and after seeing a segment in it, I forgot who the women's tag team champions were when the episode started. And just now, as I was talking about it, I forgot until I jogged my memory from today. They just don't care about it. It's always they pretend they do by trying to make tag teams, and then they break them up and they give them to these two people that don't like each other in NXT, or Damage Control is a legit thing now. So I'm glad that they have them, but there's no one built around them, so that it now has to be Becky and friggin' Lita to challenge for them.
And then how they can segue this to Shayna and Ronda Rousey challenging for them.
And even that's a good one they can build up. I'm all for Shayna and Ronda getting them and then going on a rampage. I would love for them to get them and then literally come out and cut a promo like I'm talking about now, with it being these titles are a fucking joke. That's why we won them, to prove to you all that these are a friggin' joke. So until there's someone who seems to be on our level, we're just going to hold on to them now and just have them come out and kill people.
Do you guys all agree we can move to the next segment here?
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's fine. Cody and Heyman promo. I just thought it was a little odd, but I liked it. I liked it a lot. Basically, Heyman and Cody traded blows, and Heyman said, you're not going to beat Roman, and you don't know what your life is going to be like if you do win at WrestleMania. And you won't have someone like me. You won't have an advocate like me to help you. And it's just, I don't know. I was a little confused, but I understood it. I got it. De Niro, let's hear it, buddy. What do you got with this promo?
I love the story that they're telling here with Paul Heyman constantly trying to plant these seeds of doubt in Cody. He sees that Cody is very confident, maybe more confident than anybody else going into a match with Roman Reigns. And it is Paul Heyman's duty to try to play the mind games of Cody. And right now, you see little hints of it working. You see Cody, getting a little bit upset at these things that Paul Heyman is saying. I think that, I'm waiting for the moment where Paul Heyman just completely crosses the line and Cody just loses his shit. So I feel like we're building up to it. You had the line, Roman Reigns is the son that Dusty always wanted. And then, I'm single, so I might call Brandy. It's building up more and more. Yeah, what's going to be that tipping point where Cody just says, fuck this, and nails Paul Heyman in the face? I think that's a really cool dynamic that they have right now.
Keith, I thought at the very end it was really cool when Cody said, don't send Heyman anymore. I want to go face-to-face with Roman. After this, let's get it going. Before you talk about the promo, did anyone think that Heyman was married? I thought he was.
I could have sworn he was too. I was about to mention that.
Yeah.
I swear to God, he's like mentioned in like shoot interviews about like leaving, like telling his wife he was going to a show, like had to go to a show. It was like when him and Punk were put together the first time. He's like, "Oh, I told my wife I got to go. I'm going to go do this, or my kids, or whatever."
Paul Heyman, the character, is single though.
Ah, that makes sense.
The
gimmick, Paul Heyman, right?
Do you think so?
Paulie Dangerously is single. Paul Heyman.
I don't know what he was getting at, but Cody's one thing that I liked, and then Keith, we'll get your thoughts.
Yeah.
Heyman said Cody WrestleMania dreams will become his personal nightmare. I love it. That sold me right there. Keith, let's hear it, buddy.
No, I think it was. I mean, it's gonna be tough to put the two of them together and like get something like that's bad out of it. But it was definitely like not the strongest. Right? It wasn't the strongest of like their interactions. I love that Paul Heyman's in a friggin' neck brace because he took the stunner from Owens. That's just, I love all that kind of stupid little stuff like that. That was beautiful. Just helps sell it all. Yeah, I mean, I think. I loved how it ended with that. I love that Cody was just like, don't send him anymore. I want you. Like, I'm fighting you. I'm not fighting him. Bring me Roman. I like that I'm hoping that that's where it's going to go to, and that's what we're going to get moving forward here for a little while until Mania.
Danny boy, let's hear it, buddy. What do you got?
No, I liked the whole thing. And then of course a little detail, Paul Heyman was holding the title still. So it's like, oh, I'm holding them. Roman's not here, but
I didn't catch that.
But he had both titles on his shoulders, so it's like, damn, it's making him feel important there because he's the advocate. But it's like it's just the back and forth, and just like you guys said, it's Cody just getting fed up of listening to Paul, but then he's letting him get under his skin, and it's just like at the end of it, it's just like I'm done with the back and forth. I'm not facing you at Mania. I'm facing Roman. Yeah. I want him in front of me. I want to talk to him, not you. And they're going to have to do it. And it's interesting because he's done everything, his appearances on Raw. And then, of course, we know Roman has gone on both, but most of Roman's appearances are on SmackDown. Yeah. So are they going to go back and forth on each show, or is it going to be primarily done on Raw? Because I want to see Cody on SmackDown. That would be cool to have Cody on SmackDown and do everything there, considering Roman is, I know we talk about there's no brand split, this and that, but Roman is SmackDown. That's what he is. He just goes to Raw every now and then. Yeah, I just like how it was a way for them to kill a little bit of time for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, you can't have Roman come back. Yeah, it just didn't make sense for his character. Anyone want to talk about anything else other than the Rhea Ripley interview? Please go ahead.
I'll just mention the fact that what is on that paper that the Miz was given in the gold sheet, and like he looked at it, he was like, "Ooh!" And everybody thinks he's going to be the host of WrestleMania because it's in LA. Of course, that's where he lives. He when you think of Hollywood, you think of the Miz, of course. So it makes you think that with no storyline, that he's going to be the host.
Yeah, I say no to that. 110%. Maybe that brings The Rock in. Hey, I want to be a host. Something like that. It's stupid. I don't think so. But let's get to the last segment, or the last topic of Raw. Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio were interviewed. Really good interview. Basically, they said that Rhea is going to show up on SmackDown, go face-to-face. For a second, I thought they were going to go one-on-one for the title, but I was a little confused. It's face-to-face. They're going to talk to each other in the ring. And then also, Dom, this is where the storyline, I think, is going to finally, I don't want to say continue, because we've seen him at every holiday, at the house, at dinner, at restaurant, doing some funny things like that. But I think we're going to get something at SmackDown. So Rhea and Dom will pay a visit to Friday night on Fox. It's really going to be fun. This is what I was telling Keith. Rhea doesn't need to win. She didn't win. But after the Chamber, I think it's going to be her, not by herself, but kind of sort of on the road to WrestleMania. And I think her first stop here is SmackDown. Keith, what do you got? How did you think of this promo or the interview? And I don't know, whatever you want to say.
Yeah, no, it was good stuff. I mean, I love Rhea. Solid stuff. I'm glad she's going to be on SmackDown to do the face-to-face with Charlotte. I really hope she gets to come out on top on that. Like, in the match in general, but like even in like the talk off too, in the talk off with Charlotte too. I feel like I've really turned around on Dom from where we were at our year end stuff here, where you were talking about him being the worst part of last year, and I didn't disagree with you. But I've turned around on him. I love his like just totally delusional friggin' character work of like, I did hard time, man. Like he got processed for like an hour. Yeah. It's so good. It's just all the crap he's coming through. I really hope, just throwing back to NXT too, I really hope he somehow makes some kind of appearance in the jailhouse street fight between Dijak and friggin' Tony D. That would be so funny to me. And whatever the theming of it is, if it's just him in a cell, like there's a jail cell, and he just comes out just like, yeah, it reminds me of my time in county, and just walks off, and maybe I would pop huge for it. I want to see him and Ray at Mania. I really hope the holiday stuff continues too, and there's some friggin' thing about like the Mysterios are celebrating St. Patty's Day, and they show up and ruin it, you know. Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was good. I think it's leading to good places. Like I said, Rhea's got to go over both in the segment she's going to be on and at Mania, and I'm looking forward to Dom and Ray, which feel like Dom should probably go over there too, but that's a different thing for a different day.
De Niro, you brought it up. You said Backlash is going to bang, and I think Rhea alluded to that. Beth and Rhea are not done, but she has to focus on WrestleMania. That's what she said. She said she's focused on WrestleMania. I mean, this doesn't get any better. What are your thoughts on this segment? And then, Rhea, I mean, just in general, going to SmackDown with Dom. I mean, we wanted to see that. We've seen it, like, Keith said, holidays, dinners at the restaurant, but we're going to see them together, by themselves. This is different. They're not with the Judgment Day. They're by themselves. Is it a couple thing? I mean, I can talk. De Niro, let's hear it, buddy.
Yeah, and this is also something that we thought we were going to see at the Royal Rumble. We thought we would see some interaction between Ray and Dominic. Ray wasn't in the Rumble. It was alluded to that Dominic jumped Ray backstage. That's why he wasn't in it. I love the way they set this up. I love that it wasn't just, and Dad, I'm coming to SmackDown. No, I like how it was like very subtle. Like, and I think my dad has a match. Maybe I'll go check that out. Like the way they set it up was very like.
And the way he talks too, it's just slow,
it's
methodical.
Yeah. It doesn't sound like somebody cutting an old school wrestling promo or wrestling promo. Like it was more realistic. And I agree with Keith. Like Rhea Ripley has to look strong in this talking segment with Charlotte. She has to look strong at Mania. And for what's after Mania, I could definitely see Rhea Ripley winning the title. And then maybe the Raw after Mania, Beth Phoenix comes out, says this is not done. And then that's how we get Beth Phoenix and Rhea Ripley at Backlash. But I'm very excited to see Charlotte and Rhea Ripley run it back and also go at each other on the mic this Friday.
Yeah. Dan, I'll leave it to you. SmackDown. We don't just get a face-to-face. We got to get something else, right? We got to get what De Niro said, maybe verbal blows, something like that. Yeah. I mean, this is going to start the storyline to WrestleMania. It's got to start hot. I don't think they have anything really else advertised other than face-to-face, Charlotte and Rhea. What do you want to see out of this?
With them, I just want to see them go at it because, of course, it's
that's dirty, Dan. We don't talk about that.
It's a couple years in the making because the first one, it was for the NXT title. Kind of Rhea kind of baited Charlotte to picking her, and then Charlotte took that title, and then Rhea kind of felt a certain way, and now it's Rhea working to get that title shot, and she wants to prove herself, and Charlotte is taking her lightly. She thinks she's just going to go right through her because of what happened before. So I think you're going to get a little bit of Rhea being a little bit more aggressive and just pissed at everything Charlotte. But then I really want to see the whole Dom and Ray because I want to see just Ray just flip shit. I just want to see him flip shit and just have enough of it. And then I want to see, because they've been kind of teasing Santos Escobar, like the giving of the mask.
Oh, yeah.
Are they going to try and inject him into it for like a week or two? Or because I don't see them doing that. I don't see them doing that out of the blue and then just dropping it and then not going anywhere with that. It was just kind of random how they did it, how he showed respect. And then he made a comment. I know you have issues with your son, but I respect you. I respect the legacy that you brought me, and then they swapped masks. So may that play a thing on Friday, or was that just a one-time thing that they were doing to progress Escobar into like a babyface? I don't know, but I hope we get like a St. Patrick's Day thing where they crash St. Patrick's Day, because it was the Valentine's Day thing was funny with him being kind of on edge. He sees the police and then he runs out. Like they declined the card. I guess it was the family card, and then he got cut off from the inheritance from Ray. And it's just shown how Ray's starting to get sick of Dom, and he's done trying to bring him back.
Yeah.
I just want to see the Mysterio family, like the Mysterio family, Mexican, Southern California, just like, how on all days, St. Patrick's Day, you come in here and ruin our celebration. Just opening the door and they're all shamrocked everywhere and just partying.
Ray is drinking Bailey's.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's car bombing it up.
You
and
see,
shit.
you,
Yeah,
you,
just there in
you see the car drive by, and he's like, "Oh my god, we gotta run!"
Exactly. Yeah,
it's interesting the Santos stuff, because like I know there was like rumors going around like when Dom first came around that WWE had trademarked the name Prince Mysterio, because Rey Mysterio is just King Mysterio in Spanish, or King Mysteries, or whatever it is.
Mystery.
Yeah. So they had trademarked Prince Mysterio, and there was a bunch of things being like, well, yeah, Ray's gonna retire, Dom's gonna get the mask, and Dom's gonna continue with it. So it'd be cool if it was something where like maybe he gives that off to Santos. Santos goes and be Prince Mysterio for a little while, and till eventually the Judgment Day falls apart, and Dom is just like, I need my family's name back, and then we get a babyface Dom run, and we all hate him again.
There's a lot of things you could do with this storyline, and that's my next question. I mean, Rhea wins that, Mania. Now she's on SmackDown. What do you do there? I mean, is there a brand split? I mean, she's going to win, right? Like, we're not seeing double vision here. She's going to win, and then what do? Bianca and Asuka, they're both on Raw, so you can't swap the titles. So, I don't know. I'm lost. What do you guys think?
You could swap it, and then you got to think where they do another draft.
They're going to have to do something.
Yeah.
And then we see a situation like where I believe it was Becky and Charlotte had like the championship,
The
like
weird
passing,
trade.
like
Yeah.
give me yours, and then like you dropped it.
Unprofessional she was too. Yeah,
For real.
I don't know. I think
but what do you do?
I think so much of it's going to depend on how they handle everything with like the world title picture stuff, because like it's a weird thing going on where it's like the brand split exists, but like it doesn't, because like it's there, but it doesn't really matter outside of literally the SmackDown and the Raw women's titles.
Yeah.
So I feel like I don't love this idea, but I feel like there's got to be something where they like, Mania happens, you crown two new ones, or Bianca retains, or whatever it ends up being, whatever. And then you got to have some kind of match where it's like the champions just go at each other. And it's literally a thing where it's just like, we're not doing this to unite them, because I don't think like it makes sense for like the men's to be united, because there's the US title, there's the Intercontinental title, there's all, they have like mid-card stuff to go after. The women don't. It's literally the two titles and the tag titles. But I think you have some kind of match where it's just kind of like, so you have some kind of match between the two champions where it's just like, listen, it's not going to be for unification or anything. It's just if whoever loses, you're the secondary title now. Like there's no longer a Raw and a women's, or a Raw and a SmackDown women's title. There is the women's championship, and then name it the women's Intercontinental Championship, or I don't know, something else. I don't know. I can't think of a good one. The first thing popping into my head is women's empowerment title, but that sounds really condescending and shitty. So don't call it that. I don't want it to be called that, but you know what I mean? But let's say you have something like that where it's just like whoever loses, that becomes a secondary title now. So that one can float, and now the women's one can float too. So then you don't have the situation of like, all right, well, Rhea's a SmackDown champ, so she's stuck there now. Judgment Day that she's with, and let's all be honest, she's leading. They're on Raw. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know where it goes to. I just know Rhea has to win. She's got to get that win back from Charlotte.
She's got to win. I mean, it's just money on her. I mean, if you would bet, I don't think the betting odds would be high. I think, Rhea is going to win. De Niro, what do you do? I mean, isn't it kind of a mess? Like she wins, and then you have her on SmackDown. Does she go against Backlash, Rhea, and Charlotte again. I mean, what do you do? I know we're just fantasy booking here, but it's kind of fun.
Yeah, I mean, unless you split Judgment Day. I mean, Rhea Ripley and Dom could do their own thing on SmackDown, and
That's a good point.
You have Priest and Finn Balor as Judgment Day still on Raw. I mean, I love them all as a tangent, but you don't necessarily need Dom in Judgment Day. So I could see, Rhea Ripley winning the SmackDown Women's title and then remaining on SmackDown. But it is a mess. This is why not having a hard brand split where
it's difficult.
You're only on one side and that's it. It makes things muddy when you have, people going on both sides, but you have a Raw title and a SmackDown title.
Yeah.
Just make it like he said, just make it one women's championship and a women's mid-card championship if you're going to have everybody on every show. So I think that right now I can't really say where they're going to go with this. It is a little muddy unless they do have a brand split after this where they make it this is, definitive. We're only going to keep it like this. Like when the brand split first started, you didn't see all this cross promotion. You just had SmackDown guys, you had Raw guys. You saw them come together for WrestleMania.
Yeah. Oh God.
They only came together for a couple big events, but you had SmackDown pay-per-views and Raw pay-per-views.
Yeah.
If they're going to do another brand split, go full force with it. Let's actually have a brand split.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I got to piss. I know, De Niro, you got to get up early. Let's get to the last segment. Here we go. Yeah, buddy. Let's end it on a high note. I got the first 5 champions for 3 titles. Let's start with the WWE Hardcore Champions. Give me, everybody can guess. It doesn't matter who it is. Give me the first 5 in order. It doesn't have to be in order, but I have it in order. I just want the first 5 champions. Let's hear it. What do we got?
Mick Foley was the first one.
Mankind was number 1. Correct. Number 2.
Holly.
Bob Holly was number 4.
Bossman. I believe Bossman took it from Foley.
Yes, Bossman was number 2. We got 2 left. 3 and 5.
Crash Holly.
Nope.
Al Snow.
No.
Big Show?
Nope. Do you want a hint?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Throw that hint out there.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't know.
Road Dogg.
Yeah.
That number 3.
Billy Gunn.
Billy Gunn, number 5. You got a winner. Mankind, number 1.
Just naming everybody on the Attitude Era roster. We'll go down the line.
Mankind was number 1. Bossman was number 2. Road Dogg was number 3. Bob Holly was number 4. Go ahead, say what if you would like. And Billy Gunn was number 5. This is from Wikipedia. If it's wrong, I don't give a shit. Let's get to the WWE, I guess, / WCW United States Champions. 1 through 5. Let's hear it, boys.
We're going all the way back to the NWA
era,
or are we going
really
to
We're going there.
Damn.
All the way back.
All the way back since day 1-ish.
Holy shit.
Dusty?
Nope. Should we just go to the next title championship?
What's the year?
Yeah,
it's the first. I don't know.
Let's do this. Give us one of them in there and tell us which number. You don't have to give us the first one.
Yeah.
It rhymes with Bailey Bass.
Harley Race.
Harley Race, number 1.
Is the first?
Yep.
Oh shit!
Wow.
Number 3.
Magnum TA.
Number 3 rhymes with Barry Punk.
Terry Funk.
Terry Funk. All right. Johnny Valentine's number 2. We're never going to get that. Paul Jones was number 4. And
what is that? I have a coworker named Paul Jones.
And if you get 21 in this game,
Blackjack Mulligan,
you get number 5. All right. Let's go to the last.
Damn.
I thought that was going to be fun. That was a little fun.
We had to get started somewhere. I have never heard of Paul Jones as a wrestler.
Yes.
Paul Jones sounds like the dude you buy insurance from.
He's my favorite wrestler now.
State Farm agent Paul Jones.
Exactly.
All right. The last one we're going to end it here is fun. The WWE 24/7 champions from 1 to 5. Let's hear it.
R-Truth.
R-Truth.
Yeah.
Him again.
That's two.
Jinder Mahal.
That's 2 stones. Or R-Truth is 3 and 5. So you got 2 out of there.
Jinder?
Nope.
EC3.
No.
Rockstar Spud. Wait, what was his name again? Maverick. Something Maverick. Right?
Drake Maverick, yeah.
Drake Maverick.
No,
So you said that R-Truth is 3 and 5?
Yes. 2 birds with 1 stone there. 3 and 5 is R-Truth.
Maverick wasn't on there, or was that later on?
Ooh.
Titus?
Number 1.
Oh, yeah.
Titus was the first. Wow.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then we got 2 and 4. 2 and 4 is going to be tough. I mean, both are not on TV. Not on TV, but they're on the Raw brand. I'll give
Pat
you that.
Patterson.
A ref?
No. They're wrestlers, but they're not on TV right now.
Jason Jordan?
No. They're wrestlers, but they're not on TV.
They're on the roster, but
Dana
they
Brooks.
Well, technically, he's a wrestler, and he's not
No,
on
he's not.
TV.
He's the
No,
producer
Dana Brooke
that
was later
produced a shitty
on.
match at the
They're
chamber.
on Akira Tozawa?
No. What do we got? We got
Drew Gulak?
no. You know what? I made a mistake. Number 4 is on TV, but it's. I'll just give you number 4, Elias.
All right.
Number 2.
Jesus, I don't remember the early shit of this at all.
Jeez.
Who the hell? Darren Young.
No.
He's currently on the Raw roster, but he's just not.
Right,
on TV
you said
now.
that. And I'm an idiot.
Yeah, he's hurt. I picked him.
Ciampa?
I picked him in the draft. Remember that draft we did with Tim?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's hurt right now.
Should I just? I can't give you a hint because if I give you the hint,
That doesn't really help.
you're gonna know.
I barely remember all my picks.
He was in TNA.
Styles?
No. He tagged with
Bobby Roode.
There you go. Number 2. So it goes Titus
I
O'Neil.
think me and
Number
Keith got it at
1.
the same time. I was thinking Rude. Yeah.
Yep. Titus O'Neil, number 1. Number 2 is Bobby Roode. Number 3 is R-Truth. Number 4 is Elias. And number 5 is R-Truth.
See, I wouldn't have got that because he's on the SmackDown roster.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You said Raw.
Make me throw in shade.
Said know your rosters.
Hold on. Roode is on Raw.
No, he got traded to SmackDown.
Oh.
When?
He got right before he got hurt.
Yeah, I think he's back.
No, they split up him and Ziggler.
Zig Ziglar. All right, let's end it. This is the longest we've done. This is the longest we've ever gone. I got to piss. De Niro has work. We got to meet with Broadcast. Cage, take it away. Where can the people find you? Give the people what they want. Jesus.
Yeah, you can find CageMyIQ on YouTube. Just
Thank you. De Niro.
CageMyIQ.
No, I'm kidding.
and then you can find me on Twitter at CageIQ.
Mikey Money Mike, baby. Let's hear it, buddy.
We're Wrestling DeLorean Podcast, the Circle of Debate YouTube channel every Monday, Wednesday. No, whoa, almost forgot. Changed it up. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Wednesday.
5 days a week. Definitely, a lot of content coming out. Also, Circle of Debate every Thursday, sometimes Sundays. Check me out on Instagram at Wrestling DeLorean Pod and on Twitter at W_DeLorean Pod.
I love it. Keith, other than the UWPod, how can the people find you?
Right along here. I'm on Twitter at Keith of the Ring. I'm on Instagram at _Keith of the Ring. Some bastard beat me to it. I don't really do much on Instagram, though, unless Nick gives me something to share. Not much of a picture guy, but constantly stirring up nonsense on Twitter. Hoping for more. Dan, De Niro, thank you both for joining us. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Definitely love being
here. We got to get you guys back on soon.
Hell yeah.
Just let me know. I'll be here. I appreciate it.
Me and De Niro got to do a watch along of just all of Steen Erico.
Yeah.
Hey, Thursdays are my Ring of Honor shows.
We'll go on like Twitch and just sit there and watch everything start to finish until we die. I'm there.
I'm with it for sure.
Awesome. You guys can find us on Twitter at the UWPod and Instagram at UWPodcast. We do have a fancy site, UWPod.com. More things to come on the Bloodline Entertainment Network. Stay tuned, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Peace.
Yeah, baby. And here it comes.
Thank you for listening to another edition of the Universal Wrestling Podcast.
Like that blood up and say!
Check us out on the web at UWPod.com.
You've got mail.
Or send us an email, info@UWPod.com. Universal Wrestling Podcast.
Nobody does it better.